Assalamu alaikum. Today we'll be talking about the Judgment Day, and we'll start off with an ayah that Mubashir will recite.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن يكفر بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر فقد ضل ضلالا بعيدا.
And now I'll translate this ayah. And this ayah basically means that it directly translates to, and whoever disbelieves in Allah and His messengers in the last day, then he has readily erred in far error. This basically implies that if a Muslim does not believe in the Day of Judgment, he will not be considered a Muslim. For the Judgment Day, we'll talk about three subtopics. We'll start off with the belief in Judgment Day, then we'll move on to the signs of the Judgment Day, and last but not least, we'll talk about the tribes of the Judgment Day. So, for the belief in Judgment Day, Mubashir is going to recite another ayah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أفحسبتم أنما خلقناكم عبثا وأنكم إلينا لا ترجعون.
Right. So this ayah translates to: Did you think that we had created you in play without any purpose, and that you would not be brought back to us? This implies that nowadays, when people are just roaming around, they don't take into consideration how the world was created, or how everything around them. They're not aware of why they're here. They don't take into account what their purpose is on this world. They just work, and they get so much into what's going on in this world that they forget about what their actual purpose is in this world.
The dunya.
Yeah, the dunya.
They forget that they return to Allah. They have to return to Allah.
Exactly. Now we're going to move on to the signs of the Judgment Day, starting off with the minor signs. So first we'll start off with a lot of people nowadays wish for death, right? And it's become very casual. And that's one of the minor signs of the Judgment Day. When people are struggling, they'll be like, I wish I wouldn't be going through what I'm going right now, and that just killed me or something.
It's become pretty common in our age, especially like in our countries and Western countries. And not just wishing for that, they actually do commit.
Yeah. Especially the European countries, I think Europe has the highest suicide rate, and it's not just because it's stress. It's just they don't know what their purpose is in this life. They don't have any incentive to move towards it. They just
again
they
forget
to Allah as they should be.
Yeah. You're saying?
Yeah, again they forget that we have to return to Allah.
Yeah.
We have no purpose in the end.
Exactly. And another one of the minor signs is rulership of the foolish. I mean, there are many examples nowadays. You could, for example, I'm not sure if
every country has a example.
Every country has
an example.
I mean, the prime is we know the prime.
We know what the prime.
Yeah, and so that's one of the minor signs. Another minor sign was that the Arabian lands will turn green once again, and that's happening.
It's happening in El Jawf.
Yeah, I saw something. I think I sent that picture. Yeah, and apparently the Sahara Desert used to be green as well, and then it turned into a desert, and then maybe it will turn into a desert again. Yeah. Another one is this was in hadith. Well, most of these were in hadiths, and this states that adultery, silk, and alcohol and musical instruments will be regarded as permissible. And
this is pretty common in the West, at least, as far as I know. But it's possible that over here this can also become.
Unfortunately, it has become, especially in like the more modern areas of the Arab regions.
Yeah, musical instruments is one of the more controversial ones, because some people are like, there is no clear hadith for it, and others are like, it's fine, but this hadith is basically stating that other than the dove, which has been stated by Prophet Muhammad, that the dove is allowed, but any other musical instrument like the flute or the strings, they are not permissible. They are considered haram. Not sure if it's all the time, or maybe there's some special occasions you could use those things for, but according to according to what I've found, it says that it's musical instruments.
The dove was played when Prophet ﷺ come to the Medina.
Yeah, he was coming.
Yeah. From the women of
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and now, since the many minor signs, we can't go over them all, we'll just move on to the major signs. Okay, so basically one of the major signs will be when the sun rises from the west instead of the east. And that's going to be...
Before it's a major sign, and
yeah.
it has a lot of significance because after this sign, there will be no more repentance,
Exactly.
no more forgiveness.
And when is it that the Quran will be taken away? Is it before the sun rises from the west?
No, the Quran will be taken away after.
It's after the...
It's afterwards.
Okay, and then after that, these are all in order, right? What we've listed.
Yes.
So then after that, unbelievers will not have his belief accepted, which you just stated, and sinners will not have his repentance accepted after the rising of the sun from the west.
Like once the sun rises from the west, it's pretty obvious that this is not scientifically possible.
And then after that, there might be other events in the middle, but one of the more significant ones will be that the beast will appear. We do not know how the beast looks like, but it's written in the Quran, or was it in the Hadith?
It was hinted in
the Quran. So yeah, beast will appear, and basically there are many scholars stating how he might look like, but no one really knows how he looks like, because
It hasn't been described properly.
he isn't supposed to look like any of the creatures on this earth. It's going to be very different.
Yeah, some says it has two horns in his head or something like
that.
that.
Those are just
speculation.
Yeah, and that it will differentiate, this beast will differentiate between the believers and the infidels, and Allah will enable people to be able to talk to animals. That's
The fact is that people won't realize they are talking to animals until after the event has happened. Only then when they realize, we were able to talk to animals.
Like
Which
how?
is scientifically not proven, but whatever Allah wills will happen.
It will happen, yeah. And then after this, other events will happen, and then appearance of Dajjal, also known as the big liar or the false Messiah. He'll appear and he'll basically
He'll claim that
he's a god, and he'll assume Godhead and try to break away people from their religion by different means, by deceiving them, and another point is that he will
basically try and take people away from Islam.
The Dajjal will be supported by the miracles of Allah. He won't be the one performing the miracles, but Allah will give him the ability to perform the miracles, right? Yeah, and there will be many people. Apparently, it's heard that women will be especially attracted to him. That's what I've heard. I don't know why, but that's one of the reasons. And but believers will keep steadfast. The true believers, they know that he's a false Messiah, and that he's not the true prophet or the true God. So they'll keep steadfast. And then after a while, Prophet Isa will emerge, he'll come down, and basically his purpose will be to kill the false Messiah, restore Islam and guide people back to the right path. And after killing, he will remain on earth until Allah permits, and will die and be buried on earth.
Just like a
regular person, yeah.
I will be talking about the topic of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. It is one of the major signs of the Day of Judgment. First of all, what does Ya'juj and Ma'juj mean, right? The word Ya'juj and Ma'juj, it's two different words, okay? And basically, if you say it in front of the Arab people, okay, the word is actually very harsh, okay, like to pronounce, okay? So the word Ya'juj and Ma'juj comes from ujaj, to be dry and harsh. Also means from al-edge. Al-edge means when an enemy rushes onto you, when someone attacks you very fast, okay? So basically, as you can see, the word means something, a bit harsh and dry, and it attacks in some way. So what is Ya'juj and Ma'juj, and what are they basically? So Ya'juj and Ma'juj are actually humans, okay? They are descendants of Adam, okay? And basically their story, right? They're actually mentioned only twice in the Quran, okay? So these Ya'juj and Ma'juj, they were around in the time of Musa alayhi salam. This is how far you have to go back. And around the time of Musa, you did have, what's it called? A great ruler, right? His name was Dhul Qarnayn, right? He was a Muslim ruler, and he was one of the greatest rulers of all time, like on earth, right? He had authority over majority of the world. He had literally conquered majority of the world. This guy had so much power, and his name was Dhul Qarnayn. So Dhul Qarnayn literally translates to two horns. Dhul Qarnayn also translates to to two sides, basically, two sides. Some people say because he conquered the east and the west, and he did have control of majority of earth, or at least civilization that they knew at that current time. So basically, how he relates to the story of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Basically, Dhul Qarnayn was once on his journey, and he traveled to a place that he hasn't been to before, a place so far away from whatever people knew there, like in their time. He traveled somewhere so far away, and it was so cut out from civilization. It was so cut out from civilization to a point where he met people that live in that area, and that area, not a lot of people know where it is, and like in this day of time, but it did have some descriptions, like some people say it was near lava and stuff like that, and it was close to two huge mountains, right? Two huge mountains, and you know how there's a valley between it, right? Basically, the tribe, this very uncivilized tribe, right? It was very primitive. They were very primitive, and they went to Dhul Qarnayn and they complained to him. They were like, there is another two tribes, Ya'juj and Ma'juj. These tribes, they were worse than us. They were more primitive than us, and they bring fasad in earth. They come and they corrupt earth. Basically, they're very evil. Okay, so they describe them that they used to attack them. They would murder them. They would kill them. They would rape them. So it was too much fasad coming from them. So they were like, they come from this valley between these two mountains, right? And they asked him if you can block them off. If you can block them off if you can build a dam. Actually, they actually said, if you can build a dam and block them off from coming to us, okay. So Dhul Qarnayn actually agreed, and he said that my army is not enough to build this dam for you, so I need you guys to give me your physical power, your people, your manpower actually, to work with me and help me build this wall. So he told them, go ahead and grab all the iron and copper actually, and basically after the dam was actually built, the people that helped Dhul Qarnayn to build this dam, they sat there and they were in awe. They were amazed with what they made, basically. And Dhul Qarnayn went to them, and then he told them, this is only rahmatun from Allah. So this is only mercy from God, basically, he told them. And some interpreters said that he made sujood to show how grateful he was to Allah. And he also told them that one day this dam will be destroyed to ground level, and it will only happen from the will of God. Only Allah will allow this to happen. And that day will be one of the days to sign off Yawm al-Qiyamah. And what would happen when the day comes and the Ya'juj and Ma'juj are released, right? And as I've already said, that these people, the Ya'juj and Ma'juj, they're very evil, and they bring fasad to earth, right? So when they're released, they're going to murder, rape, rob, and kill everyone on sight, right? So when they're released, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send Jibreel alayhi salam to Isa alayhi salam, and in that time Isa alayhi salam will already be descent, he will already be with us, right? So Jibreel alayhi salam will go to Isa alayhi salam and tell him that there is this creation of Allah that has been released, and you guys have to go and take the Muslims and take them to the mountains. Okay, so he was told to go and hide in the mountains. So why were they told to go hide in the mountains is because the Ya'juj and Ma'juj are very, very, very large in quantities, right? They themselves will come out of the mountains that they were held in, right? So when they come out, they will come out swarming, literally swarming. If you can imagine how bees and bugs, they swarm out of their nests that they're hiding in, or areas they're around, you can imagine how, like, you can't even count them basically. And there's so many of them. For every one of you, 999 of them exist. So you can only imagine how huge that portion is, right? And basically, the name of the lake they will go through, they will actually pass by this lake called Lake Al-Tabariya, right? So they will go to that lake, and they will drink from it, right? And by the time the last group of Ya'juj and Ma'juj that pass by that lake, they'll say there used to be water here. So you can only imagine how much they will do from their huge population, and how, like, their mentality is, or the way they are, basically. So it's very, like, you can imagine how much will happen, how much damage to that will happen. And eventually what will happen is, when the people, the followers of Isa, the people that are with him, they will go to the mountains and they will hide. And then eventually the Ya'juj and Ma'juj will conquer the whole world. At that time, Isa alayhi salam will be hiding in the mountains with his companions, the people that are with him, right? They will be hiding in the mountains, and Ya'juj and Ma'juj won't know that. They will conquer the whole earth. They will conquer everything on earth, right? And they will destroy everything in their way. They will kill, rape, murder everyone in the way. There will be non-believers that they will try to hide and everything, and they will cause damage. Anyone in front of them, they will destroy him. They will murder him. So as you can see, the amount of damage they will do and everything, and they just want to conquer everything. They just want to conquer, right? And you can see how much hatred they have to everything, right? And they're just nomads. So eventually they will conquer the earth and everything. So after that, they will say, now we conquered earth, we want to conquer the skies, the people of the skies as well. So they will actually shoot arrows, right? And Allah Azza wa Jal would return the arrows with blood, so they can think that they actually conquered the people of the skies as well. And eventually they will conquer for a while, and I don't know, Allah Alam, how long they will conquer and how long they will stay. Then eventually the Isa alayhi salam and his followers, the food and supplies that they have eventually will start running out. So Isa alayhi salam will make a dua to Allah, and Allah will actually send a disease to the Ya'juj and Ma'juj. So Allah will send a disease, a worm, basically. It would be a worm, some type of worm, parasite, something like that, that will be on their necks, and eventually they would die out from this sickness, right? They would die out from this disease. And basically they would die out, and if they actually if you see the way they died, okay, they would look as if they died in a battlefield immediately on site, basically. So it would be a very interesting scenery, I guess. So anyways, and eventually Isa alayhi salam had to send one of his people to go down and see if what happened, you know. So they actually had to, there will be a man that will go and that will basically be chosen to go and look if the Ya'juj and Ma'juj are still there. So after Isa alayhi salam and his companions, they go down and they go back to live on earth. They will notice that the earth stinks and it smells really bad because of their bodies, the bodies of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, and it will be very unpleasant for them to live. And they will make a dua that they will ask Allah to remove these bodies, and then Allah will eventually send some type of birds. He will send birds that will come and pick up their bodies, their decaying bodies, because they smell. They've been there for some time, and their bodies will be picked up, and Allah will put them as He pleases. And Jazakumullah khair, and thank you very much. That's the end of Ya'juj and Ma'juj.
See. Okay, I think this is it for the major signs. We should move on to the events of the Judgment Day. So first, it's going to be the trials of the grave.
That occurs even now.
Yeah, basically, yeah, there'll be the questioning by the angel of death. Is it the angel of death or the two other angels?
The two angels, right?
You don't know. Oh, yeah. So yeah, they'll basically question. They'll ask who your prophet is, who your God is,
And what's your religion?
and what's your religion. And if you
Who was
fail
that
it,
believer says all those three things and
he's a Muslim. Yeah. And these are the three questions. Or is there anything else we know of?
Regarding questions?
Yeah.
There will be some say as a breeze of hell or heaven.
Yeah.
For those who pass these three questions, they will get the breeze of heaven.
Yeah.
And those who fail to do so, they'll get the breeze of hell.
There's also
I think like their trial will start from the grave themselves.
So they'll get like a taste of how.
Yeah, they'll get a taste of what's to come for them.
It only depends on their deeds.
Yeah. There's also the barzakh. It's basically the part that comes when you die. It's between the worlds, between the unseen world, I think, and between the seen. So that's where apparently people live after they die.
Yeah, before the blowing.
Before the judgment, before
Before the
the
judgment.
trumpet. Yeah, the question of the two angels, the beginning. Yeah, the judgment day begins by when Israfil, the angel Israfil blows the trumpet. And yeah,
So he's gonna blow it twice. Yes.
Twice.
After the first blowing of the trumpet, the universe will basically be ruined.
yeah, apparently the heavens will be split, the stars will scatter, and the universe will be ruined.
Yeah. But not everyone will die. It will be, Allah will keep some creatures alive after the first blowing. And then he will, Israfil, alayhi salam, will then blow the trumpet a second time, in which every person will perish.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to the judgment day.
Yeah, after the second one, resurrection happens, right? After the second,
All the dead creatures are brought back to life.
including humans, right?
Yes, include everyone, but it marks the actual beginning of the
The trials.
Yeah, the trials of judgment.
Yeah, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, will be the first to rise from the grave. Then other creatures will come up after him. Then there will be the gathering. People will be driven to the place of judgment. All the people will be naked and gathered. Ibrahim alayhi salam will be the first person who will be clothed. Sun will be very near, and all creatures will be in great stress and sweating profusely, probably because of how close the sun is.
Because of how
Yeah.
the sun is. They'll be like very stressed. Because
So
Exhaustion.
there will be a lot of what do you call it?
I think I know what you're trying to say.
What do you mean? it's noted that there will be 7 people who will be given Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's shade. A just ruler, a youth brought up in the worship of Allah.
Like
From
that one is like, ever since he was a kid, he always worshipped Allah for the sake of Allah.
Yeah,
That's what that is, brought up in the worship of Allah.
Yeah. And the man whose heart is attached to the mosque, like he just prays. I mean,
5 times
five
a day,
times a
every
day.
every time.
Yeah. And 2 people who love each other for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake. One example was, we did it in Islamic class, or maybe I watched a video on YouTube. It was about 2 people. I don't remember the exact story, but it was one person. Well, it's gonna take time. We don't have that kind of time. We don't have that much time. It's basically the two people who love Allah a lot. One of them goes. Look at this part. I don't remember the story. Basically, this part was, I don't remember the exact part, but it was, I don't remember the name, it was a merciful sermon. One of the husband went to support his country for war, and he went while his wife was pregnant. So, and they had a lot of money. His husband told him, if I don't spend that money, it was a lot of money, but until you hear the news that I'm dead, right? But so he doesn't return for like 20-30 years or so. So she assumes someone comes to her and tells her that he's dead or something, and he's like, okay, I'll spend the money on my son. And then turns out like the man didn't return back because he was so devoted to find in the way of Allah. But after a while, he was like, okay, I need to go back. He goes back, he goes to a mosque, he hears a scholar talking. He's like, wow, the scholar is really good. Then he goes to his wife's house. He sees a man entering, so he gets really angry. He's like, maybe it's his house, right? The man's entering into his house. So he gets into a fight with the man. People gather, they separate him, and then his wife comes out. They meet, they hug each other, they go inside. And then later he finds out that the man who was entering his house was his son, his grown-up son. And then he also finds out that the son, his wife tells him that did you see a prominent man in the mosque who was spreading the message of Islam, right? And then she tells him that that's your son. And it turns out that the son, that the guy who was entering the house was his son. He got into a fight with his son. So he then goes out, he meets his son, he starts telling the whole region, the whole city, that this well-known scholar is my son, he's really happy, this and that. And I mean, I don't remember the exact story, I'm just remembering what
But this kind of does relate to this story.
It's something along the lines of that.
That's good.
Yeah. And
There's 2 more people which will receive Allah's shade when the sun is that close. One of those people will be a man who gives charitable gifts, like he donates a lot to charity. And the last person will be a person who remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his eyes become flooded in tears.
For example, because of his love, right?
Because of his love and love, yeah.
And
Then after that will be the acquittal. Requittal. But in this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will pay the people the recompense of their deeds in full. This means what? Like whatever they have done in the dunya, they will in a way,
they'll get the deeds, they'll get the rewards, get the rewards. Right. So presentation. After that is the presentation and reckoning. In presentation, a fair trial will commence for each person. Everyone will go through a trial. They will be shown the proofs of their deeds for and against them. And people will look at the records of their deeds and read the book of accounts. Basically, how many good deeds
of accounts are like good deeds and bad deeds that you're
names on the right.
And all the people are presented before the Lord and will be judged by Him only, without any mediation.
So he alone will be the one who's going to judge.
Yeah.
During the presentation, all the people are presented before their Lord and will be judged by him without any mediation, meaning he will be the only one who will have a hand in the judgment. After the examination of deeds by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there will be two cases. That if one person who is a good, like he commits good deeds, he's a true believer, the book of accounts will be given back to him in his right hand, his sins will be forgiven, and he will be taken back to paradise.
Right after, will he take to the paradise after the judgment is done, or right after he goes through the trial? After his judgment is given by Allah?
Things will happen after the reckoning, if I'm not wrong.
After the whole
Right.
After the reckoning,
Like after the presentation, he's like judged. After the reckoning, then
they'll be informed of the judgment by the books given back to them.
yeah.
Those who are giving the book back to the right hand will know that.
they'll have to go to the paradise.
So that's a way of informing them rather than just returning the book.
Yeah.
It's a way of informing them.
And then the next point is if the person who's being judged is a sinner, he does a lot of bad deeds and he's not a true believer, he will be given the book in his left hand. No, he will be given the book from behind the back.
Behind the back.
But
He will receive a hard trial.
behind the back or on the left, to the left?
Behind
Behind
the
the
back.
back.
From behind the back.
I don't know, man. We don't know. It's gonna be.
You know, the man is very ashamed of his deeds, that's why.
Yeah. And he will receive a hard trial, meaning that he will be questioned with no leniency.
Very
Like,
strict.
very strict questions.
We might not even have answers to most of them. We don't know that, but that's assuming.
That's fine.
Yeah. And
And the next part is after the presentation. Sorry? After the presentation will commence the reckoning, during which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inform people about their deeds, sayings and beliefs, and then He will give them the book of accounts. Okay?
so, wait, you reckoning or not? Okay.
Yeah. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inform the people and then give them the book in the right hand or behind their back. So those who are good people, good believers, they will get an easy reckoning, meaning that Allah will show His good deeds in front of him, and then his evil deeds or his bad deeds will be shown in secret, so that no one
The others don't know about them.
no one else knows about them. And then he will be taken to paradise.
I think there is a lot of detail we should skip to.
Can I just ask, who will be shown their deeds in secret? The easy ones or?
The people who
have a lot of evil deeds.
Easy ones.
No, the people who get easy reckoning, they'll be shown their.
no, it's like when a person when there's a good person, a good believer, he obviously isn't completely clean.
Yeah, no,
He has bad deeds, of course. So instead of showing it in public, he will be showing his bad deeds in secret. But for those who are evil, like who do bad deeds, they will be shown their bad deeds publicly, and everyone will
be exposed.
exposed in front of everyone. And
The ones with the bad deeds will be exposed or not exposed?
They'll be exposed.
like the bad deeds will be exposed in front of everyone.
And the good deeds will not be talked
No,
about?
the bad deeds of the good people, of the
Oh,
believers.
okay, they will not be presented, okay. Should we move on to the balance part?
I think we should.
Yeah, because this is very detailed, there's a lot of information.
Discussion, the balance, yeah, we should move on.
Yeah, the balance. Okay.
The balance. We have to believe in what Allah Almighty and His Messenger said about people's deeds being weighed by balance. So basically, every person,
You're saying that?
so every person's deed has to be balanced
Yeah.
on the day.
And we don't know what he means by the balance. It could be a weighing scale, it could be anything. We don't. That I think this is what the sentence is trying to say. We should just believe it the way it's been told.
We should be weighed against each other. We don't know how it will be weighed.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always set up balances for justice. The weighing on that day will be true weighing.
Yeah.
Good deeds will be on one scale and the bad deeds on the other.
Yeah. Just like in our heads it's like waves.
Yes, right.
We don't really know.
Yeah, one who have good deeds will enter the paradise, and the one with the bad deeds will have to.
We will be sent to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The last point is Mubashir.
It's not the last, it's just before the last actually. The last actually paradise and hell.
Yeah.
And
This is the bridge, right?
before that comes the bridge, which everyone has to pass through regardless of their faith or their personality. And it said that people who have good deeds, like good amount of good deeds, like a higher amount of good deeds, will pass it with ease.
Yeah.
And it's like a wide narrow bridge. It said, I think in the hadith that
It'll be
it's
more
just
like
the size of a hair.
Yes.
It's thinner than a hair.
So everyone's going to be walking on it?
Yeah, everyone will have to pass through it to get through to heaven, and beneath it will be hell.
Also, people who've committed sins will fall automatically.
Yeah, those who have words of good deeds to balance out their
They'll just-
that they will lose their balance and fall. Those who have higher good deeds will be able to
It
pass
will go
through
too
easily.
easy.
And very nice people pass through as falling stars or like the wind,
Yeah.
as fast as the wind.
Yeah, it was also sharp as a sword.
It's thinner than a
Thinner
hair,
than-
yeah.
sharper than.
It's definitely sharp.
So it's not something like easy. When you
It's
say
like
bridge, you
it's
imagine like a bridge.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like
a
this
big bridge. Like
yeah.
it's not something that easy.
It's easy for good people.
Well, the believer, it should be easy for the believers because Allah
Should be.
It's easy for the yeah.
But those who fall to the bridge into hell, they won't be rescued.
Yeah, they'll
They'll
just
live there forever.
Yeah. It's in the last part.
Yeah, there's paradise and hell. That's the final part.
I think that's the end. Like,
Yeah.
those who went into paradise
Yeah.
will live there in paradise.
Yeah.
And those
That's
who go to
very
hell
low.
will go back to paradise, but they will serve.
Depends.
They will see the paradise, but they won't be allowed.
I think it will. It's also it's stated that it's Allah's choice. Like if for a while, if those who are transferred from hell to heaven will have a mark on their head. So when they go to heaven, they'll be known. People will know that they've been in hell. Like it'll show a mark
It's
in
a
your
mark.
eyes. Yeah.
Even there are many hadiths
Many hadiths, yeah.
regarding which people will be rescued.
Exactly. We don't know.
Not everyone like randomly.
Yeah. So I think this is it. We've
All the
basically
Skimmed
we went over the basics of the judgment day, what's we didn't go into much detail, but we went over what it should be known, the general topics, what we will go through, and what our reward will be in the end. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sound.